So, David, I'm not sure where to start, but maybe we should go back to that story that Jason just mentioned on the news. RADCAN announcing, Canadian Press, I guess, announcing today, they obtained a copy of Marwa Risky's allegations against Geneviève Hans, who was, of course, Pablo Rodriguez's chief of staff back in the day. So you heard about this. What do you think?
Well, first of all, let me preface this that nothing is proven, right? This is Marwa Risky responding to Geneviève Haynes' lawsuit. Haynes is suing Marwa Risky for $500,000 for illegal firing. So this is Marwa Risky's lawyers in Superior Court filing her response to Geneviève Haynes' claim.
Okay.
So nothing is proven. This will ultimately go before a judge, and a judge will decide based on what is proven, who is right, who is wrong. But from a political perspective, from what I've read from the La Presse account, and I've also read the TVA account, from just a political perspective, Marwa Risky's position, the question that keeps coming back in my mind, Aaron, is why did she choose to basically throw a grenade in the entire institution of the Quebec Liberal Party? Even if, let's say for the sake of discussion, all that she alleges is true, why didn't she just sit down with Pablo Rodriguez? Because Pablo has maintained throughout, and there's nothing in today's revelations that contradict him, Pablo never really knew why Marwa Risky did what she did. First of all, why she fired Haynes, and who was a close collaborator of Pablo's going back to the federal government side of Pablo's career for many years, and there was no blemish on her record back then. And so Pablo never heard or knew anything of why Marwa Risky fired her, never knew, you remember that on that Monday where she walks into the leader of opposition's office in Montreal with a lawyer, cameras present, refusing to comment, and it just threw the entire Liberal Party in such a state of turmoil. And to this day, I still don't get why, even if all of this that she alleges in her papers is true, why didn't she just sit down with Pablo saying, look, Geneviève Haynes, who you put there as my chief of staff, is doing things that really, could be construed as not legal or not ethical. So maybe we should talk about this and find a way, to resolve this instead of blowing the party up the way she did. Mm-hmm. So from a political perspective, that question still stands. And this is why, to this day, there are a lot of members of the current Liberal caucus that still have a grudge against Marwa Risky because of the way she handled this entire situation. And that's why, to this day, she's still not reintegrated into the caucus.
It's interesting, to your point, David, if something was questionable, as you're pointing out, the first step would have been, I would think, you're suggesting, go to the leader saying, by the way, this is going on. I think you should know before actually going public. That's what we're saying? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I mean, look, again, let's say we're in a job setting. Let's just forget it. Just if you're an employee and you see another employee doing something that it seems wrong, unethical, or might even be illegal, you're going to go. What are you going to do? You're going to go to the boss and say, "Hey," or and hold on. There's something going on here, and this is why I believe what I believe. This is what it's based on.
Yeah.
And so it's just the way she proceeded. She proceeded to divulge all of this, and the way she did it hurt the institution. Let's go beyond the situation between the two parties here, Haynes and Risky. The institution itself was so damaged by this. It's just barely, just the last Leger poll last week, just this weekend, finally the Liberals have just started to make up the ground.
Right.
They lost 7 points with the Pablo Rodriguez turmoil. They made up 6. So all of this, for something that until now doesn't seem like that much and could have been handled differently.
Let me move on and talk about Pierre Poilievre, Conservative Convention over the weekend, wins 87% of the vote. I'm guessing, and we've talked about this before, that is not a surprise. Is the size of the win a surprise?
Well, it's his party. I mean, he's the one that brought in the hundreds of thousands of members back in 2022 when he swept in with the leadership. Let's face it, the Conservatives are still at around 38-40%. This is the highest they've been in over a decade in polls, and so the thing is that it's his party, and you're going to dance with the one that brung you. Right. When you're all these MPs, are basically looking to him. Now, he is 25 points down where you're looking at who would make the best prime minister. That's not a good place to be. And his best ally right now is time. I know this is weird to say, but somehow I think Pierre Poilievre would like to maybe lose another MP or two, so that way Mark Carney has a majority. No talk of election this spring, and he'll have the time to work on what he started in his speech on Friday night, which is a complete change of tone. He has learned how to smile. He has let go. He has discovered that he can smile. Uh-huh. He has discovered that he has a tone that can be more human. He has also let go of the Canada is broken. He is talking about affordability. He is talking about housing. Now, if you want to make up that ground, especially in Ontario, that's where you need to go. But he's going to need time. And also, with time, let's say 2 things happen. Let's say the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, takes down the tariffs. And I know it's 2 big ifs, but let's say Trump loses the midterms. The Republicans lose the midterms, lose at least the control of the House. Trump does not become the overriding issue, and he'll turn back the projectors towards domestic policy. And if Mark Carney's policies don't yield results on the price of groceries, on the rent, on mortgage, on economic uncertainty, then he can start getting some traction. But he's going to need some time.
All right. And the last thing I want to bring up, and I'm not sure, I spoke to Rachel Aiello earlier today. We found out today Canada's going to open up a consulate in Greenland. Maybe this is not a big story, but it just seems to come out of the blue, although she said we apparently have been talking about this since 2024.
Yeah. Well, again, I think you're talking about, I just want to make sure I understand the issue you're raising here.
Well, the issue I'm asking, David, is are they rubbing this in Donald Trump's face? Is that ultimately the plan here?
I think it's more about staying the course of showing solidarity. I mean, it's the walk following the talk. If we are making these grand speeches like the one Mark Carney made in Davos, and we sign agreements and we say we're part of NATO and that our word is our bond, we have to put up. Now, again, let's talk about this. We talked about this on Friday, with Bombardier, but we're looking at a series of taco examples. Trump always chickens out. Trump right now is deeply involved right now in domestic issues in the U.S. He's going through a very, very difficult time with Epstein. He lost a seat in Texas that, a 31-point swing in a seat that 18 months ago the Republicans have won handily in Texas of all places. But anyways, what I think here is Canada is putting up and saying, our word is our bond, and we're following up with actions, and it's totally the right thing to do. You have to stand up to a bully, and that's what you do. And so far, it is working.
I was going to see how far you were going to go with the Epstein thing because, he might sue you. He sued Trevor Noah, apparently, for the way he handled the Grammys last night. I wanted you to be safe, David. So
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
David, thank you. I appreciate it.